Welcome to Lighting for Profits.
All light.
Powered by Emery Allen. Here is your host, Ryan Lee.
All light. Welcome to the number one outdoor lighting show in Gilbert, Arizona. We are going viral today, baby. Maybe even Mesa. I don't know. We'll find out. But guys, I'm Ryan Lee, your host of Lighting for Profits, powered by Emery Allen. And we got an awesome show. We're going to talk about something new. I've got this idea. I've seen it work in other industries, and I know it's going to work in ours. And it's starting to happen. There's already people starting to do this. We've got the founder, the CEO of RepCard, Mr. Brad Mortensen. And Brad doesn't know this, but Brad is kind of like my secret find for 2026. I had no idea what it really I was looking for his product. And I was at D2D-Con, and right across, I was helping Jimmy Tompkins with Omni out with his booth, and right across from us was RepCard. And these guys had an awesome booth, awesome swag. I mean, it was just entertaining to see like how they brought people in and stuff like that. And I was like, RepCard, I don't know what that is. So I go over and I start talking. I'm like, dude, we what's your number? Like, we got to connect. And actually, we hired Brad and his team to come help us out with Light It Up Expo. Just like it was like a month after that. I mean, it was really, really fast. So really cool surprise find. So I'm excited to have him on the show. We're going to talk about what RepCard is and how it can help you in your business. But it's kind of cool. He's just like a blue collar, not even blue collar, just like door knocker, like trying to make money now, tech startup founder. Really cool story. So we'll have him on in just a few minutes. Thank you guys so much for your support, for your reviews. They keep coming in. We're up to over 113 or something like that on Apple. Some more on Spotify as well. So if you have not, I'm just going to ask again, and probably every week, give me that 5-star review. Mention your favorite episode. And maybe it's Brad. Maybe it's going to be this episode, your favorite episode. But, give a shout out to one of your favorite guests, someone who's made an impact in your life, someone who's helped you do something big in your business. So thank you guys so much for your support. So before we have Brad on, I want to just talk about something real quick because this happened just yesterday. I saw in this post, I got tagged on it, and I really am like super intentional about like, don't be on social media on Sunday and like hide your phone and stuff like that. I'm not the best at it, but I'm like getting better at it. And so the post actually happened on like Saturday or Sunday, but I saw it yesterday. And there was someone basically complaining on there, and they were like, man, like, why do events like suck? And they weren't saying like events suck, but they were pissed because it's like, why does every event that you go to have to always end in a sales pitch? Like, why does you always have to be in someone's funnel? And they just wanted to go to the event. Right. And here's what's interesting. Like, I actually used to completely agree with them. It's like, yeah, if you just pay for the event, then don't you want to just get the event? Like, I don't need a sales pitch, whatever. In fact, when I first started putting on events, my very first event was called Landscape Lighting Live. And it was a 2-day event. We sold tickets for like $1,500. I can't remember, it was like 20 people or 30 people or something like that. It was intentionally small. It sold out. I was like, oh my gosh. And I was just grateful that people were like investing in themselves and coming to this new event that I had never done before. And I wanted to just over deliver. So I just gave them value and value and value. And it was like, honestly, maybe too much value because they were like, you could just tell they were drinking from a fire hose. And that was it. At the end, I knew I'd seen other events make offers. So I was tempted, like, should I make an offer? But I'm like, nah, if they want to join Landscape Lighting Secrets, they'll just come ask me. Like, duh, like, why would they not do that? Well, I did that I think that I did that 2 times. And then the third or the fourth time, by then I had a coach ask me, we were talking through some things, and my coach goes, hey, so what's your offer? Like, what's your offer at the end of the event? I'm like, I don't make an offer. And he's like, you don't make an offer? Why would you not make an offer? I'm like, well, because they paid, the 1,500 or the 2,000 or whatever for the thing. And I gave them the thing. He's like, but don't you like believe in what you're doing? And like, would it not help them if they joined your program after that? Or do they have everything they need now? And I'm like, well, of course it would help them. And he's like, well, then you should make them an offer. And I was like, okay, yes, you're right. And I started thinking about this, and I'm like, wait, like, I do believe in what I'm selling. Everyone's afraid of the word sales anymore. I believe in what we're doing. It can change people's lives. It can change people's businesses. So I'm like, why am I afraid to tell them about it? And I was afraid because I had seen other people have the same reaction and say the same thing of like, oh, here comes another sales pitch or whatever. And I had this epiphany and I was like, you know what? Screw that. I don't care. I know that if I make an offer, I have something valuable that can help someone. And so on the very next event, I made an offer at the very end. And what was crazy is people bought the offer. People joined the program. I can't remember how many, 3 people, 4 people, something like that. And so a lot of people didn't, but some people did. And I'm like, wait a minute. So before, when I didn't make an offer, no one joined. And when I did make an offer, people joined. I didn't change the room. I didn't change the pitch. You know what I mean? I didn't change, like, everything was the same. The program was the same. The value was the same. The only thing changed was I just allowed them to make a decision. I asked them to make a decision. Right. And it's crazy because people thanked me afterwards. They're like, man, thank you so much. I actually needed this push. I needed this nudge because I probably, like, most people aren't going to come up to me after and like get more outside their comfort zone. They needed to know like they needed me to guide them and funnel them. That's why it's called a funnel, right? To like the next logical decision, right? And so um it's interesting. I mean, when people hear about sales and the pitch and everything else, people get so defensive and people get angry. And I do get this, by the way. If you go to an event and it's like, you know, um, 10% value and then like pitch after pitch after pitch. Like, I totally get that. At my events, like, no one's allowed to pitch except for me. Okay. So there is going to be a pitch, but it's like 99% value and 1% pitch. So like, why get so mad? You know what I mean? Like, just take the nuggets and go about your own business. You don't have to say yes to the thing. Right. And so there is a big difference. Like, I realize that people actually don't hate being sold. They hate feeling like they've been tricked into being sold, right? Because I think there's a difference. I think, um, like I said, there's some of those events that are, maybe they're intentionally holding the useful stuff, or there's not a lot of value unless you buy the thing. But that's just bad selling. Do you know what I mean? Like, if you're really good at sales, in fact, I think I'm really good at sales, not because I'm good at making people like make a decision that they wouldn't otherwise make. I'm just helping them make an educated decision. Um, but I think that's what the problem is bad selling gives, like, selling a bad name. Okay. And so if I spent an entire day helping you, like, I teach you everything I can, I help you identify a problem, I show you what's possible. And then at the end, I'm like, hey, if you want help actually implementing this, here's how I can help you. What's wrong with that? I think if I don't make that offer, then that's like a bigger disservice to you, right? So think about this in your world when you're talking to homeowners about landscape lighting. This happens all the time. Someone invites you into their home. They literally call you and like schedule an appointment. They tell you what they want. You walk their property. You ask questions. You create a design. You show them what you recommend, and then you're like not asking for the sale because you're afraid to sound salesy. And it's like, but they hired you because you're the supposed expert, right? They need you to guide them to that ability to make a decision. And you could say something as simple as like, "Hey, listen, based on everything you told me, here's what I recommend. Would you like to get on the schedule?" I mean, that could be the pitch. You know what I mean? Um, it's not even really pitching. You're literally just helping someone make an educated decision. You're guiding them. You're advising them. You're a trusted advisor. You're a helper. You're the expert that they invited into their home. And so some people are pretty good at that. Like, they'll be like, okay, here it is. Like, which option works best for you, whatever. And then how many times do you guys hear them say something like, well, yeah, looks good, but yeah, we just got to talk about it and we'll get back to you, or we're gonna get some other quotes or whatever it is, right? There's usually some type of objection. I mean, the lay down sales are great. I love those. It's like, okay, they saw the value and they're like, let's go. Like, there's already trust built through your marketing or through a referral or whatever. But what about when they say they want to think about it? Because most contractors at this point are just like, oh man, I don't want to sound salesy. No worries. Yep. See you later. I'll shoot you an email and you guys let me know when you're ready. Out the door. They don't want to be pushy. They don't want to be salesy. They don't want the homeowner to dislike them. But think about this, like, are you actually helping them? Because that's not very helpful. Like, you're thinking, oh, I don't want to sound like a jerk and be pushy, but it's like, I mean, how much value are providing to that conversation? You're doing them a disservice if you don't ask at least one more question. You know, when they say, "I got to think about," sure, no problem. What specifically did you guys want to think about? Just so I know, after you guys do talk about it, what are some things that are going to come up? Is it the design? Is it the investment? Is there someone else that needs to be involved in the decision? Um, is there did I miss something? You're not trying to trap people. You're just trying to understand them. And when you like forget the script for a minute and just realize that you're just like human connection here, you're just trying to understand someone, see what their problem is. If it aligns with your solution and they just don't know what that gap looks like and you have like the bridge to get them there, then why would you not be willing to ask them another question? You're not saying like, you're not pressuring. I need you to buy this because I need to make the sale because if I don't, I'm going to get fired. Or if I don't, I can't make my mortgage payment or whatever. My kids got to keep eating ramen. That's pressuring. Leadership is more like, hey, based on everything what you told me, I mean, here's what I genuinely believe you should do. I mean, they did call you because you're the supposed expert. You know what I mean? So I just want to encourage you guys to not be afraid of sales. Again, if just that word I know is like cringy to most people, or people are afraid of it, and it's like, oh, I'm convincing someone to do something they against their will. Like that's not the case. And if you don't believe that you really are the solution, then maybe you got some work to do. Maybe your business isn't as good as it could. Maybe your product or service, your delivery isn't as good, because once you're proud of it and you know that the consequence of them not moving forward with you today has like they could go with your competition. Like, does your competition do a great job? If they do, then what value are you going to show that's higher? Otherwise, you can't expect the sale. At least get a no. Like, I'm there to get a yes or a no, because I got to think about it, or we'll get back to you later. That's just not really a decision. Um, I'd rather them tell me no, and I could bet, cool. Give me some quick feedback. Like, what would have made it different for you? What would have helped us earn your business today? And then you get feedback, and then you get better on the next one. So, I just want to encourage you guys to realize that, honestly, like, you don't have to apologize for selling. Okay, you're not out. Don't manipulate people. Like, don't pressure people into buying something they don't need. You're not trying to sell something you don't believe in. But when you've listened to somebody, you understand their problem, and you genuinely believe that you can help them, then make the freaking offer. Like, that's all it is. Okay. So I personally think it's a disservice letting people think about it, because all that means is you just didn't build enough value or trust. Because if they trusted you, even if it was more money than they wanted to spend, they would find a way to work with you. They would be like, okay, well, we can't spend 15, but we got 10. What can we do for 10? Like, they would find a way to work with you. So they just don't trust you. So just be better at sales, be better at building trust, be better at building value. And I promise your conversions are going to go through the roof. And it's when you stop thinking about money and start thinking about impact and how you can help people and serve your community, you're not going to have to worry about money, because it's like a byproduct of the whole system. So that's my rant for the day. So, yes, normally if you do come to an event, I'm probably going to make an offer. If you don't like that, well, then you don't have to come to the event. But even if you're at the event, you could just be like, no, like, leave the last 2 minutes. You can stay for the whole 2 days and then just leave the last 2 minutes, and you'll probably be fine. Let's see. So, real quick before we have Brad on, hey, stop settling for cheap, unreliable lamps that ruin your projects and your reputation. Emery Allen's line of premium LED lamps deliver the performance, longevity, and color consistency your clients expect. Trusted by lighting designers and installers around the country and backed by decades of lighting expertise. Make sure to check out Emery Allen. All you need to do is email Jackson L at emeryallen.com. He will hook you up with that discounted contractor pricing. Just email Jackson L at emeryallen.com and mention that you heard about him here on Lighting for Profits. That's Jackson L, the letter L, Jackson L at emeryallen.com. All right, I think it's time. Let's get our guest coming on here. It's going to be a fun conversation today. Welcome to the show, Mr. Brad Mortensen. What's up, Brad?
Yo, how are you, man?
Looking forward to hanging out for a bit. Thanks for joining us on the show. I'm doing great. Thanks for asking.
Awesome, man. I'm glad to be here. Yeah, that was awesome. Hearing you rip behind stage. So
I can't help it. It's like I started doing that because I want this show to be about you. I really do. But like, if I don't get it out of my system, I'm always like, oh yeah, and then this and this and this. So I'm like, I'm selfish. Just get it out of my system. So
dude, I could turn into the host real quick. Start asking you questions.
Well, dude, I'm super pumped to have you on here. Like I said, you're kind of like my surprise find of the year. Didn't even know I was really looking for your product and stuff like that. And we were across from you at D2D-Con. And then someone's like, oh yeah, that's Brad. He's the owner. I'm like, oh, cool. I'll go talk to him. And next thing you know, we got you guys at Light It Up Expo. You guys were awesome. I mean, you guys did all of a huge thing for our vendors, to be able, and really our attendees too. So everyone could connect, scanning badges, stuff like that. Do you want to just do a quick introduction of who Brad is and who RepCard is?
Yeah, let's do it. So when I was 2 years old, I'm just kidding.
Not that much of an intro.
Yeah. So I got into door-to-door sales forever ago and spent 10 plus years doing sales, and realized there was a gap in the way, door-to-door guys were going to market, and figured out a way to help them leverage their time through software. And so started RepCard. And as we got into building our product, it started out as a digital business card, which allowed two people to connect and start this new relationship, and had some follow-up tools and things like that. We started going to these conferences. The first one we ever went to was D2D-Con. The second one is back in 2019. And I just saw this huge gap in how these conferences were done. Like, these attendees are trying to connect with vendors and learn more about their stuff. Vendors are trying to get their info, and they have the fishbowl, put the business card in, and like win the TV. And like, all of it was there for vendors to get information from attendees, and then attendees are there to learn from speakers. And so we ended up creating a registration product within our tool that you guys used at your show or your conference, just allowing attendees to connect with attendees, and vendors and attendees to exchange info, but ultimately to leave the event empowered with more relationship.
Yeah, I mean, it was super beneficial, not just for us as the host, but even for the attendees to be able to connect with each other and with vendors, and just sharing that information. And I know that's just a fraction of what your software does. Like you said, you've kind of iterated and keep adding and stacking to it. It's crazy. I just had this, this was like last week. I ran into one of my neighbors at the grocery store here, and he's running for office, and like Congress something or whatever. And I was like, really? So he's like, yeah, man, I've been out knocking doors like crazy. And then he's like, shows me he pulls up his app, and I go, wait a minute, is that RepCard? He's like, yeah, that's RepCard. I'm like, sweet. So he was using it to keep track of his doors and everything else. So
yeah, you have to connect with me on who that was.
Yeah, that was cool. Talk about the boomerang. Talk about what is Booma effect?
Booma. So you can see behind the Booma effect is everywhere. For us, it's at the heart of what RepCard is. I mean, like I said, it started out as a digital business card, and that's the beginning of a new relationship. And we believe in being givers and serving those relationships from the very beginning. You meet somebody new, and it's like, how can I give? How can I serve? You talked about in your monologue just like that beginning part of the sale, the trust. And I believe it starts before you walk up to the door, the way you carry yourself, and then that initial interaction. And are you there to serve and give? And the Booma, it's a boomerang. So, you throw a boomerang, if you throw it right, it comes back. And in life, when you give and serve and pour into relationships, typically something comes back. And that's not necessarily why you do it, but it's just a byproduct of doing things for the right reason. And life typically will treat you well on the other side. And so our mission with the software is to help sales reps win in the field so they can spend more time with their families. And we believe if we do that well, that, the person paying the bill for the software will be happy because they'll be generating more sales, and we'll have a long-term client. So it's kind of all wrapped into the boom effect of life. And it's everywhere for us.
I love it. It's cool. It's on the inside of your hats. I know my assistant was, she there, or I gave her a hat. I can't remember, but she wears your hat all the time. I love it. Lately, I've been kind of talking about that inside of our community, Landscape Lighting Secrets, of like, man, it's so true. Like the more you give, the more you get. And it really is the boom effect. It's like, it's so much easier. Have you noticed that? It's like easier to help someone else than help yourself. Like, I know the things I need to do to be a better person. That's just too hard. You know what? I'm not going to do that right now. Let me just help someone else, right? And if I can help someone else, and if everyone's helping someone else, eventually someone's going to help me. Like, it's just going to happen. And it is way easier to help someone else than help yourself. So I love that philosophy of yours.
I mean, yeah, I think if you're listening to this and you're in a rut in life, whether it's personally, with the relationship, in business, like if you can just have that trigger that you're like, I need to go serve and give. Maybe it's, hey, I'm going to go knock the next door and be like, hey, we're giving away 5 free lights. It doesn't always have to be giving away something monetarily, but just find a way to give and serve. There's that guy on YouTube that he's like a landscaper, and he always goes and does like a crazy yard. He picks like the craziest yard, and he like time lapses him like cleaning it up. And obviously he gets some social out of it and some views and stuff. And why not? But to those people, he's totally just like upgrading their yard, and like that's got to feel good. And he takes him what looks like a few hours, maybe half a day, and he's incorporated that into like part of his schedule. But it's like you said, usually you solve your own problems when you're giving and serving and helping others.
Cool. Well, I want to ask you a couple of things about RepCard, but before I do that, I want to ask you about knocking doors, because if someone has knocked doors, I mean, I knock doors for a church mission like you, and then I knock doors for 2 summers. And talk about that experience real quick. Like, were you naturally good at it, or did it take you a while? I mean, you did it 12 years, so you obviously like figured some things out. What was that experience like?
Yeah. Starting out, first day I got dropped off in my neighborhood. It was a little bit dark. I'd flown in earlier that day, and so I got on the doors about 6 o'clock. I was selling pest control out in Dallas, and they gave me a binder, and they're like, hey, like there wasn't much training. Like they do the trainings in the morning, so it's just kind of like, hey, here's the contract. Like, you got to fill all these fields out to get a sale. And I'm like, cool, just let me go. Like I shadowed my buddy for like 10 doors, and he got close with a few customers, and probably my pride was like, oh, I probably could have closed that, or whatever. And I also was thinking, I'm not making money watching him. And so there is value in slowing down and just listening to mentors and coaches. But I was like, dude, let me just rip the last few hours and see what happens. And I closed 2 deals, and I just had that like exciting moment of like, dude, like I just created value. I made more money in those 2 hours than I ever had in any 2 hours of my life. And it was just like, I love that. Next day I sold 3. The next day they had me up in front of everybody doing a training. I'm like, I don't even know what I'm doing. That day I got a 0. It was my only 0 that summer. My very first summer was that 3rd day. I hated every second. I couldn't believe that I worked that hard for free. And I'm like, I'll never get a 0 again. And I was just determined from the beginning to just put up numbers. So I would say it came somewhat natural, but which is good and bad for a lot of different reasons. But that was kind of my first initial experience with door-to-door, first 2 or 3 days in.
That's awesome. So you got 12 years experience. I'm sure you learned a lot of lessons. What did door-to-door teach you about business that you're not sure that maybe you could have learned anywhere else?
It taught me to be grateful when things are hard. Is one of the big lessons I learned, because the doors don't care, like they don't, each door is its individual experience. So there's one lesson about, no matter what happens on one door, don't let it affect the next. But they also don't know if you just had 12 rejections in a row. Like they don't care. Like they're not there to try to be like, oh, you've had 10 previous objections. I've been watching you come down my street, so I'm going to try to say yes or be nice to you. And so ultimately, finding a way to be grateful that things are hard, for me was a big breakthrough that I kind of fell into around like year 6, and it really helped me like start to hit bigger numbers. And what I mean by that is like when things are hard in sales, like you can just complain that they're hard, but when you find a way to be grateful that they're hard, it's actually what makes the job exciting, because it offers such a big payout. And so it offers a big payout because it's hard. So then when it's hard, if you complain that it's hard, then you're complaining about the thing that actually gives you the opportunity that you wanted. So it's kind of this like conundrum. And so you find a way to just be grateful when it's hard, when it's 110, when it's muggy, when it's hot, when it's cold, when the sale cancels that you just sold 10 minutes ago, like find a way to like have some gratitude there. And it allowed me to hit bigger numbers than I ever had, because I was always trying to solve that problem. Like, oh, when's it going to get easy? I'm 5-6 years in. Like, why is it still so hard? And
I love the way you said that.
Shifted my mindset to like find gratitude when it's hard, because that's actually why you chose this job.
Yeah.
And it allowed me to just be free on the doors.
I love that. In fact, right before we went live, I was talking to you about landscape lighting and why I'm like so in love with it. Of all, you got Christmas lighting, permanent lighting, landscape lighting. And like, well, of those three, a lot of people are like, well, I'll just do permanent because it's easier. You know, landscape lighting is too hard to sell. I'm like, that's why I love it.
Yeah.
That's why I love it. Like it's awesome because it's hard. And most people, they hit that resistance, they just quit. It's just easier to go back. It's easier to go sell something else. It's easier to not do it. And it's like, but that's why it's freaking awesome. Like it's such a cool industry.
That's why you're in it. So yeah, you can't give up just a little bit of resistance. It's a good way to say it.
What do you think is the hardest part of knocking doors?
For me, the thing that I noticed after training hundreds, recruiting and interviewing thousands of reps, is really just showing up, the consistency. I saw so many guys start out hot, sell 4 in their first day, and then fizzle after a week and a half. I saw people quit after 1 hour, saw people quit after 1 door. And so it's like the consistency of just showing up. Door to door is already designed to have mentorship built into it. A lot of other industries, you have to pay for mentorship. But because it's sales and people are typically making an override or some type of commission when you get a sale, ideally, and it doesn't always work like this, but ideally they're incentivized to help grow you and to help you become better, because they are aligned and their compensation is based on your performance as well. And so you get all different kinds of leadership in door to door, but ideally there's a great structure in place. And so if you show up every day and you lean into that leadership, they will help you grow, but you have to just show up. It was crazy to hear all the different excuses people come up with. Grandma always dies in the first week. They run out of gas. They got to get their oil changed. They forgot to go grocery shopping, just everything, every excuse. But it's like, if your team meets at 11 o'clock every day and you work till 6, or it's maybe it's a 4 p.m. to 9 p.m. sale, or my first summer of pest control was summer sales. So it was 9 to 9, like whatever that hour is, those hours are, like commit to that and show up. And, I've got a buddy that didn't get a sale for 2 months.
Dang. And he still kept showing up.
Now he's just insane. It's changed his life, and he's 20 years into the industry, but it's like, dang, his first 2 months, I mean, awkward, weird, like, and I didn't know him then. These are how he described it. He's like, dude, I was awkward. Like, I couldn't get out of my own way. Like, just everything was working against him, but he just stuck to it. And, that was in pest control, where like you typically just like find a sale every now and then.
You have to be really bad.
Yeah.
Apparently.
And obviously he was young, didn't have many bills, was able to like fumble his way through those first 3 months. Not everybody has 2 months. So,
yeah.
But anyways, consistency, just like show up. You're not going to like just accidentally be good at door to door. You need to show up and put the time in, and you will see results. And then after that first little bit, you kind of establish like, okay, this is about how good I am. And then from there, you can grow, and it can be just such an amazing industry for you.
It's so true for, I mean, you're talking door to door sales, but just really anything, sales in general, marketing, leadership, and learning any new skill. I just think that's just like the big differentiator to those who succeed and those who fail. It's like, man, both good people, same desire. It's just one quits. One's just like too impatient and doesn't realize, like, dude, you just got to go through the reps more. You got to go through the motions. You haven't given it long enough to succeed. You just got your failing over with, like in a large, like to go 2 months. That's dang impressive, right? But it makes sense that he had so much success after that, because it's like you have no choice but to go up from here, you know?
Right.
So most people don't give it that long to experience the success.
Yeah, and just to kind of, I guess, drill home my initial point of like the built-in mentoring. I mean, if you went and bought a guitar tomorrow and just like showed up every day for 30 minutes and started playing, you could figure some stuff out, but like you're going to have to go hire a coach, or, you know, YouTube now is a great teacher, but still, whereas in door to door, like you don't just go randomly start knocking doors trying to sell lights, and you don't have like a manufacturer or distributor, you don't have a way to install them. Like, so when you get a job in door to door, it's everything set up for you to win, and you just have to show up. So if you're listening to this and you're new, like, and you're nervous, scared, you're on that day 2, day 3, your weekend, it's not going the way you think, like, just show up and ask questions. And in most companies, like I said, you're fully aligned. They want you to win. They want you to sell. They make money when you sell. So like, just show up, lean in, ask questions, and you'll be fine.
I follow some kids on social media that are knocking doors, and they have channels, and they're filming some of their interactions and stuff. How do you, like, as a sales rep, determine the line between, like, okay, when are you being like persistent because you believe in your offering, whatever, and you cross that line from going like persistent to an a-hole that everyone hates? Like, how do you know where that is?
Oh man, I feel like for me, I could just always just kind of tell. I know that's not like the best, like, replicatable answer, but like, for me,
because I've seen some where like they start and then they get pretty rejected, like, get out of here or whatever, you know, and then they're able to throw in a line or use their humor or something, and it salvages the sale, and then that wall comes down, and then they're able to do it. But then others, obviously, there's just those people that are like anti, like, I told you to not knock the door type thing.
Yeah, I feel like in sales, the first thing you're doing is selling yourself. So you start out with whatever your best approach is. I like to use icebreakers, talk about their car, their shirt, their hat, their hair, like their kid, their dog, like something that was like different on every door. It made door to door fun for me because I wasn't a robot, and it also made me feel more human. So I'm trying to sell myself, sell them on the fact that I'm here to just like talk. I'm human. I'm here to like offer them something. But then as the conversation goes on, it can be really quick in door to door where they're like, dude, like, no, like, I'm not interested, man. Like, if you can respond with, I don't know what the word is, but just respond with love. I don't know if that's the right word, but just with like keeping in mind that they're human, and that maybe, you know, something just happened in their world. Maybe they got something cooking on the stove and they didn't mention, like, there could be a lot of pressures that are there. That's okay. You're there to get the sale. They're there to potentially buy and whatever. So the minute that it gets away from like that, you're not looking at them as a human anymore, and they're an object or something to be funny, or the camera's rolling and you're like, you'll kind of feel it. I feel, and that's that divide where it's like, dude, it's time to cut it. And if you keep going, that's where it turns into the story online, or like the cops getting called, and then you have to move territory. And so, you know, I always thought, like, if I could walk away from the door laughing, smiling, like I won that door, maybe not financially, but like, you're not there to win every door. You know, Kobe didn't make every shot. It's just the nature of the beast. So you understand the nature of it. Like, you want to win as many as you can, but like, you're not going to win every door no matter what you do. So it's, for me, it was always kind of a feeling, and I crossed the line a few times, but I rarely had the cops called. Like, even my teams that I ran, like you just tried to run good business. So
Yeah, no, I hear you. Okay, so we started a new segment. I want to play this game with you. It's called you make the call. It's called Make the Call. So I'm just going to ask you a series of questions like this or that, or what would you do, whatever. Some are personal, some are business, some are your experience, whatever. We've got a new partner of the show called Call Source, and in fact, so they have basically U.S. bound U.S. based outbound call center. So a lot of our people listening have like small teams, or like they're answering their own phone. They have missed phone calls, deals that didn't go through. They're not able to follow up. What's cool is like, yeah, there's AI, but there's like an actual human calling, and they'll stay with those accounts and do follow-ups. They do like call tracking and a bunch of things else. But I was just talking to these guys this last week, and they said, hey, you know what? We want to do something special for your audience. So you guys, if you're listening, they'll give you 50% off your first month for all LFP listeners. So all you need to do is go to try.callsource.com/LFP. Kind of long, but try.callsource.com/LFP. We'll put that in the show notes too. But if you go there, they'll give you 50% off your first month to try them out. But book a demo, check it out, see if it may make sense for you. But we're going to play You Make the Call. You down? Are you down?
Oh, yeah. Man.
All right. So thank you, Call Source. And for Brad, would you rather have the ability to instantly know when someone is lying to you, or instantly know what they actually think about you?
Probably if they're lying to me.
All right. You don't care what people think about you. That's good to know.
Yeah. Honestly, I don't.
Would you rather?
I do, but I don't. Yeah.
Yeah, we all do. You know what I mean? But like, it would be better to know if someone's lying to you, I think. Yeah. Would you rather have to knock doors for 8 hours in 110-degree Phoenix heat, or 8 hours in a Utah snowstorm?
The heat all day.
Really? I'd totally rather be in that snowstorm.
Oh, yeah.
That's why you live there. It makes sense.
I knocked doors on my mission in Chile in the cold rain. And I don't know, that was kind of fun though. You get a little more sympathy. The heat, people just don't even open the door.
Yeah, exactly.
So, I don't know. It's a toss-up.
Would you rather be able to instantly make anyone trust you, or instantly make anyone like you?
Oh, trust for sure.
Love it. All right. So you're starting from zero, no brand, no database, no referrals, and you need to make a sale today. You got one choice. Are you gonna knock 100 doors or make 100 cold calls?
Knock 100 doors for sure.
All right. I thought that might be the case. Yeah. Would you rather have the greatest salesperson in the world working for you, but they're leaving in 12 months, or a pretty good salesperson who's guaranteed to stay for 10 years?
Oh, shoot.
Top guy leaving in 12 months, or pretty good, guaranteed for 10 years?
Probably the top guy. I mean, when guys came and left, like the fact that you can tell that story that, hey, they came here, they gave it their all, they crushed it, and now they're on to something bigger and better. Like, it's a great recruiting story. So you can find more people.
Yeah, that's true. I like it. All right. You got 10 grand to grow the business. You spend it on marketing, hiring someone, or investing in yourself?
Probably marketing.
Cool. I'm starting a business tomorrow, and you get to give me only one unfair advantage. You can either give me an incredible product people genuinely want, but I'm just an average salesperson, or you give me an average product, but I'm one of the greatest salespeople in the world.
Oh, shoot. Probably a good product. The good product route. Good
product. Yeah.
Yeah.
I know, even me, I was like torn on that one, but it's like good products. They kind of are. You can hire an average salesperson. And
look at the Apple store. No one's paid commission. The product is insane, and people just show up to buy it.
Yeah.
Take orders.
Okay. Last one. Would you rather make $1 million a year working 20 hours a week, or $5 million a year working 60 hours?
Depends on what stage of life, but probably the first one, at the stage of life I'm in right now.
Yeah. You got 4 kids.
Yeah. Yeah, 4 kids and my wife, and just busy schedules, and yeah.
All right. Well, thanks for playing. You make the call, Brad. We just started that a few weeks ago, but I kind of like it. It
Yeah.
gets us some intel into our guests and like who they are and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's good. You can mix up the questions too if you need.
All right. Well, thank you, Call Source. And guys, check those out. Again, it's try.callsource.com/LFP. Get 50% off your first month. Okay. So let's talk about RepCard. Talk to us about, I mean, I know you said it started off as like digital business card. How did it evolve into what it is now, where it's like you've got this whole sales operating system?
Yeah, so in the middle of knocking all those doors, we created the digital business card to do some automated follow-up and help reps win. You engage with these customers at their door or whatever, and they don't buy, and that's okay sometimes. And so you send them your card, and it lets you know when they look at your card. And then from there, people just started asking for all kinds of other features. They wanted a canvassing tool, they wanted leaderboards, they wanted competitions, they wanted chat, they wanted just all these different, a calendar tool. And so being a bootstrapped company, we just had to listen. We couldn't afford to just go and spend tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars and miss the mark like you can if you're funded. And so we believe that, our audience, our users kind of were able to help us guide the product. And that's how it went from, what it was in 2019 to what it is today, just listening to our users.
So you're established in like the regular door-to-door space, like pest control and alarms and solar and all those types of things. But I truly believe that that this is, I mean, I've had someone knock on my door to sell me like outdoor living now. Obviously you've had roofing and stuff like that, but different industries. And again, now I'm starting to see outdoor lighting pick up, especially permanent lighting. What are some of the things that it does? Because you said like, okay, canvassing and stuff like that, but talk a little bit about some of the feature like benefit, what RepCard does and how it could help someone getting started in door to door.
So the overall benefit of the system is that you have a process for your company. So when a new rep starts, what you don't want to do is give them access to 5 different platforms. That's just hard to kind of get them into it from just an organizational standpoint, like creating 5 logins. So with RepCard, ultimately you're handing them a login, and behind that login, they have the ability to do all those things that I talked about, to be able to get trained, to be able to go knock, to be able to follow up, to be able to, coordinate with setters and closers, to be able to check a leaderboard, check out the competitions that they may be a part of or thrown into. And so we're not just providing a bunch of features, we're creating an operating system so that their organization can scale. I know for me, when I built my initial door-to-door company, it was like recruiting people was painful and exciting at the same time, because I knew that it meant I had to go do a bunch of work, and I wasn't afraid of the work. I just kind of didn't know everything to do and have the process. And so it's like you meet somebody, and as you're pitching them, like, dude, come join us, come hang, come knock doors, come make some good money. My head was going like, that means I got to go make another binder. This is years ago, but in the good old days, like, I got to go make another binder. I've got to do this. And so it was just like processes were everywhere. I had to go create a login for this or do that, and so that's what it solves ultimately for business owners.
So I want to talk about it a little bit, because I've had the same thing where I remember thinking, man, like, we're an okay company, but we're not like the best. So like, it's hard to be in the mindset to think you're going to recruit an A player when you're not really sold on your own systems and training and everything else, because it just feels like unethical. Like, I don't want to tell someone we're awesome when I know we're not that awesome. So you naturally recruit a B or a C player, and then you complain like, oh man, it's so hard to find good people. When you talk about training and stuff like that, you guys have the training itself, or that's still like something that the actual like lighting company would provide?
Yeah, so we have some basic training in our LMS that comes standard with your RepCard. It's pretty generic though. It's about communication and resilience and work ethic and, ethics, like stuff like that. So it's not industry specific, it's more generalized. But within that training system, they can add their own content that makes it more specific about their brand. And then we did just build a AI coach, where that does come industry specific, and it comes with an AI brain for that industry. You can then add your own content to it. And the coach is then, equipped with everything you want it to know for your reps to go and role play and practice off the doors, or coming back from the doors, or going to the doors whenever in correlation meeting, for them to practice and get scored and rated and, against the AI coach. So that's kind of been the evolution of our LMS. Our training system is going from just videos and folders of content to more of an AI approach.
Very cool. Yeah. Well, and I was going to ask you about AI because, like, I don't know, at some point, is AI going to replace salespeople, or is it just going to enhance and create these like AI superhuman salespeople?
Yeah, it's always going to enhance. I mean, people miss the connection. You think of COVID, or a time when the connection goes away, or maybe if you're listening, you've just recently gone to a show, an event, and you meet all these people, and it's like, it can be such a game changer. Maybe you've taken a break from going, if you've been in the industry for a while. Like, people crave connection. So I think there's always going to be a door-to-door community, and the AI is just going to empower the stuff we're doing with some of the AI tools. I'm like, it blows my mind of how we did it 15 years ago, knocking doors, and the tools you can offer a rep now day one for, 30, 40, $50 a month. I'm like, what is going on? But I think it's just helping them get past that learning curve at the beginning and get into higher production faster. But yeah, it's not going to go away.
I talk about, like, not everyone's into sports, and I get that, and especially baseball. Most people don't like baseball. I'm weird. I love baseball. These guys play. I mean, they make millions of dollars. They make a lot of money. They play baseball every day, pretty much for like 9 months. It's like this longest season. But before the game, they're sitting there doing practice. They're batting practice. They're throwing. Like, what? Why would these guys need to practice? They played last night. They got done playing at midnight. And then as salespeople, and in our world, I mean, like, a big lighting company is going on like 4 appointments a day. Like, that's a lot. Most people aren't even going on 4 appointments a week or even a month. Some people are really slow, right? So, like, let's just say you were going on 4 a day. Like, that's not that much. Like, when are you practicing? When are you training? Like, when are you, if you really want to be that multi-million-dollar, you want to make $100 million a year, like some of these athletes, like, they have insane work ethic. They're not settling for, like, yeah, I did 4 appointments yesterday, I'll be good. And then we expect this greatness. So I love that you guys are, like, taking that upon yourselves and adding that in there, and the AI sales coach and all this stuff, because I think that's going to be a huge differentiator moving forward, is the people that adopt that and really take it serious. I mean, it's that consistency. Like, you can't fail after that. You're going to be better.
Yeah. Well, dude, you bring up a good point. My son plays a ton of baseball. And so I played it all growing up and love it, but I've like fell in love with the game again because of him. And yeah, it is crazy. It's probably one of the longer sports, 2-3 hours. I mean, they did, a few years ago, did the pitch clock and stuff to try to shorten it. But for the longest time, it was like a 3 to 4 hour game.
Yeah.
And then they get done at midnight. And then, dude, you go to the field the next day, and they're taking like little baby ground balls, like doing like these like small little exercises to just like keep their head right. And so
even between the innings, they're like, I'm just going to throw the ball and you're going to get a grounder like this. You've never done this before.
It's so true. Yeah. And between it, that's actually true. And it's just like, what in the world is going on? Probably because it's the hardest sport. I mean, you're trying to hit a round ball, round bat, 90 miles an hour, whatever. But you translate that to door to door, and it's like, dude, when do you have time? Right. And you do, but we're trying to make it convenient, meaning you're in your car a lot, especially if you're chasing leads, if you're doing like cherry picking or you're running appointments. You have a chunk of time in the car But even driving to and from area, my first summer, we drove an hour one way to area. So we drive an hour and then knock and then do the whole thing with lunch and whatever, but then get done at 9:15, 9:30, 9:45, your last appointment, and you're driving an hour back to the office. And so the drive time is where we're going to fit our AI in. So you just click a button, boom, and you're now getting coached. You're doing role plays, you're getting coached. It knows what happened at your last appointment and it's giving you guidance. And so that's the time where it's like, if you can click a button, then you're going to be in the hot seat and getting coached during the day, during the workout.
I love it. I mean, you guys are just, you're providing that solution. And I just, the more and more I'm involved in what I'm doing now, I just realize there's a huge gap in between what people say they want and the actions that they're taking to achieve the said result. It's like, and I'm guilty of this too, but I'm not as guilty as I used to be, because I'm intentionally, like, I'm aware of this. I have like more awareness, but I used to be like, oh man, I want to do $10 million a year, $100 million a year. It's like, when I had this like epiphany of like, no, I don't. Like, I got 4 kids at home too. That's the last thing that I want to do right now, because I know what it takes to do that. Right. So a lot of times we say, oh, I want to do this. It's like, okay, then are you willing to take grounders in between innings? Are you willing to be there early, 3 hours before the game, stay an hour late? Are you willing to do the coaching? You could make an excuse of like, hey, man, I've already knocked, 300 doors today. Or
yeah.
You could,
I love this song. My favorite song came on, and I don't want to press the play button for coaching because the dumbest thing, but it's like you said, are you trying to hit 1 million, 10 million, or are you just trying to like have a job?
Yeah, exactly. Well, dude, I love what you guys are doing. If people want to reach out to you, they want to reach out to RepCard, find out more information, see if it may be a good fit for them. What's the best way for them to do that?
Yeah, the easiest way is just to go to repcard.com and book a demo with our team. And they're awesome. They'll help right size RepCard to your business and really help you find the feature, the product, the service that you need to help you guys win. You can go follow us on social, anywhere it's RepCard app. And that's where we're always pushing out like new updates, the things that are the fun things that we're up to. But go talk to our team. Just go to the website, book a call, and we'd love to see what we can do to help.
Love it, man. Anything else we need to share with the world today? The outdoor lighting nerd world? No, this has been great. All right, man. Well, I appreciate you jumping on here, Brad. And I know we've already got it down. Hopefully you guys do. We want to have you guys back at Light It Up Expo. It's March 1 through 4 in Las Vegas. So kind of a crappy location, I know, but March 1 through 4, it's going to be awesome. So hopefully RepCard will be there to help everyone facilitate their digital business cards and stuff like that. So thanks for coming on, Brad. Appreciate you, man.
Thanks, Ryan.
All right, guys, go take some action. Look into RepCard and listen, guys, the people 5 years from now that take action today are going to start seeing the results, right? And you're going to go look back and go, dang it, why'd they start knocking doors? I should have done that. Go do it. Make it happen. See you guys.